Our next guest has just returned from a trip to Europe. He went over there because he wanted to see the migrant crisis firsthand for himself. He went to no-go zones in Sweden. I didn't think there were such places, but there are no-go zones where the police do not go. While he was there, he was jumped by 5, apparently, Islamic thugs. The filmmaker Ami Horowitz is the man who went over there, and he joins us right now. First of all, I didn't know there was any such thing as a no-go zone in a place like Stockholm, Sweden. There is?
I heard about them. The truth is, I didn't actually believe they were real. Right? I figured this is probably some kind of propaganda. Yes. I went there, met with the police officers. They said, when we're pursuing a suspect, and they cross that threshold, and there's about 30 or 40 of them in Sweden, they will not pursue. They will simply not pursue.
There are 30 or 40 no-go zones in Swedish towns and cities.
Correct.
30 to 40 of them.
That's right.
Did you say that there were guns being used in these no-go zones?
They used to have, about 5 years ago, the police officers who I met with would say they'd have an incident of gun violence, let's say once a month, once every few months, every day. There's gun violence going on. And it's not simply staying, here's the problem, it's not simply staying in these enclaves, which, by the way, they say are states within states. Swedish law doesn't apply in these places. What they do is they're now coming out, and it's become the rape capital of Europe.
You're kidding me?
No, I kid you not.
But we know nothing about this. Well, we've not heard of it.
That's my job, Stuart.
Yeah,
that's what I do for a living, to inform you guys.
I mean, okay. Now, you went into one of the no-go zones,
I did.
right? And you went in. Now, were you wearing your yarmulke? Did they know that you were Jewish?
They did not know I was Jewish. My nose is slightly larger than normal.
No, don't get into that. But you walked in with a camera crew.
Yes.
That identified you as an outsider.
Correct.
They jumped you? Tell me.
Yeah, they said, you guys have to leave right now. They gave us a little bit of a warning. My crew, they're smart. They took off. And I just said, listen, I just tried to explain what I was going to do, and that was it. 5 guys.
They jumped you?
Yep.
Beat you up?
Pretty good, yeah. Pretty good.
And what was the response of the Swedish police?
The police said, listen, you can stay here for, a month or two, and you can go through the system, but we're not going there to find these guys, and it's going to end up being pointless.
Now, here in America, we're told, frequently told, that everything's going just fine in Europe. We know there are isolated incidents of culture clashes, and we know about that. But we did not know that there were 30 or 40 no-go zones in a place like Sweden. What's going on? Why are we not getting the full story?
Well, first of all, Sweden has done a phenomenal job of trying to cover it up. So, for example, there were a series of music festivals in Sweden, and there were these gang rapes that went all across these music festivals. They specifically tried to hide the attacks themselves, but they couldn't because there were just so many victims. It wasn't dissimilar to what happened in New Year's Eve in Germany.
In Cologne, yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Same thing, where the government is specifically trying to cover it up, and more than that, what they're desperately trying to do is cover up the ethnicity of the people making the attacks.
Why?
Because
they know they've got a problem,
yes,
and they know they can't do a thing about it.
They're doubling down. They're bringing in as many migrants as they possibly can to Sweden.
Well, what do the Swedes think about this? Good Lord.
The Swedes they're not Vikings. The Vikings are gone. They're a sweet people. They want to help, and if you bring up the ethnicity of any of these attackers, the first thing they say to you is you're a racist. You're a racist to bring it up. That's the problem you're dealing with.
This is incredible. I mean, I'm shocked by this. Now, you took video, I take it.
Of course. Yeah.
And you're organizing it, right? And you're going to make it. Is it a documentary you're making?
It's like a short 8-minute video we do for Fox.
When you've done it, can we see some of it?
I think we can arrange that.
Yeah, you're a good man. Thank you very much indeed. We'd like to see that. Ami Horowitz, you're a brave man and a good man, and we want to see that video, and you can come back anytime you like.
Thanks.
Yeah, right. But thank you. Seriously, good stuff. Thank you, sir.